everybody and welcome back. In the spirit of doing things late as things happen on this channel, like uploading, today we are doing the mid-year freakout book tag. People tend to do this tag at the start of July. Naturally we're a month late, but that's okay. This book tag, I don't know who originally created it and I feel bad because I should, but it is a series of questions that go through the best and worst books that I've read this year and the books that are yet to come. Please ignore the bird noises in the background. I feel like that should just be a disclaimer for every video that I make. They are so loud. I also just want to say the books that I will be picking are books that I have read for the first time this year. I've done quite a lot of rereading this year, so these will just be books that I haven't read prior to this year. So without further ado, let's begin. Number 1 is the best book that you have read so far in 2020. For this one, I would have to say, without a doubt, that it is Howl's Moving Castle by Diana Wynne Jones. I did not expect a middle grade book to be so far the best book that I've read this year. If you have read this book, then you know that it's amazing. If you have watched the movie, the book is better. And that's coming from someone who loves Ghibli and Howl's Moving Castle is their favourite movie. Number 2 is the best sequel that you have read so far this year. I have not read many sequels. I have read to date 2 sequels this year. Best one so far would have to be, because it's on brand, Castle in the Air by Diana Wynne Jones. This is technically it's a companion novel to Howl's Moving Castle. To be honest, I didn't love this book. I only just finished reading it, but it does qualify as the best sequel that I have read this year, considering I have only read 2. Where Howl's Moving Castle followed our main favourite characters, Howl and Sophie, this follows a character named Abdallah. He is a carpet merchant in the city of Zanzibar. Howl and Sophie and the main crew do make an appearance in this book, but it is not until the end in which that sort of appears itself. Once again, didn't love it, but best sequel. Number 3 is new release that you haven't read yet but you want to. For this one, I am picking The City We Became by N.K. Jemisin. Everyone on BookTube has been raving about this book and I'm dying to read it. As far as I know, the only thing that I know about it that I have sort of retained from all the videos that I've watched is that it follows a few different characters, but the boroughs of New York are manifested as people. As far as I know, it's an interesting story that encompasses a whole lot of problems that our society is facing today. Number 4 is your most anticipated release for the second half of the year. Now, I had it in my head, Court of Silver and Flames would be coming out at the second half of this year, but it's coming out in January next year, and so I'm very devastated. Kind of only means that Midnight Sun is my most anticipated release of the second half of this year. I don't really anticipate releases of books, really. I don't read current series enough in time to have anticipation for the next books because I haven't read the first books yet. You get the picture. Midnight Sun is my answer. Number 5 is biggest disappointment. For this one, I would have to say it is The Dangers of Truffle Hunting by Sunny Overend. I had in my head that this book was going to be the trashy romance that I just needed, and it fell so short. I don't have a lot of kind of trashy romances on my TBR shelf at the moment because I've already read through all of them and now I'm trying to get rid of those before I buy new books. And this is kind of like was one of my last hopes for it, but yeah, it just fell short. It was kind of disappointing in the end. Number 6 is biggest surprise. Look, haven't read that many books this year, so I'm kind of scraping at straws, but my biggest surprise was actually I can never say this right. Blue Lily Lily Blue by obviously Maggie Stiefvater. This is the 3rd book in the Raven Cycle series. I didn't really like this series until this book, which is why it surprised me. I honestly persevered through it because I knew that like high school me would have loved this, and so I needed to live out my high school me dreams this year. And yeah, I didn't love it until this book, but I was really surprised by this book. It was very fast paced and it was lovely. Number 7 is new favourite author, whether it be debut or new to you. Again, we're on brand. It's Diana Wynne Jones with Howl's Moving Castle. I, again, don't usually love middle grade, and I love Howl's Moving Castle. As much as I didn't really like this one, I like how Diana Wynne Jones wrote it. She has a very interesting writing style that's so captivating and whimsical, and it's so easy to read, which is why I really love Diana Wynne Jones now. Number 8 is newest fictional crush. I would have to say, this is such a hard toss-up, but this one is so hard. I have 2 very distinct new fictional crushes this year, and one of those is actually a group of many of those, which is the one I'm going to go with because it has like the most love overall, and it's like all of the males out of Chain of Gold, and honestly a lot of the females too. Particularly, look, James Herondale, we can't get past it. It's just such a good, even though he's so fucking dumb in this book, it's just so good. The romance is so good. Cassandra Clare every time just wrenches your heart in new and exciting ways. It's great, and I love all of the boys in this series. Number 9, and I have 9 right this time, is your newest favorite character, and boy howdy, it's Bryce Quinlan from Crescent City. I think that Bryce's character development throughout this book was just phenomenal. I think she's badass. I think that she is so well written, and yeah, she's just great. She's a badass. Number 10 is a book that made you cry. Ugh, it only just happened, but The Book Thief. The Book Thief made me cry like a baby. It was great. Number 11 is a book that made you happy. For this one, I'm actually gonna put This Is Gonna Hurt. I read this book earlier in the year. It just made me laugh out loud so many times, and it made me just genuinely happy. That was a really, really great book. Number 12 is the most beautiful book that you've bought this year, and I have to say it's Crescent City. Like, look at that cover. Isn't it just phenomenal? There's so much detail. It's so intricate. The gold embossing. It's just lovely. And there's a crow, and there's a whole lot of like really steampunky, intricate designs. It's just super cool. I like this cover. And finally, number 13 is what are the books that you need to read by the end of this year? And it's all of this. All of this. But anyway, thank you so much for watching, guys. Let me know in the comments what books that you have been loving this year, what books you need to read this year. I have so many books that I need to read this year, and I'm definitely not going to get them all read, but I'm going to give it my hardest. As always, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you're having a great day, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!